Hi, I'm Jay Clancy. Have you ever been through a period of uncertainty in your life? A few months ago, I found myself stranded in the desert. Now, not a real desert, a metaphorical desert, a period of uncertainty in my life. My career hit a challenge, and I found myself stranded in this metaphorical desert, and I had no idea which way to go or what would happen to me. Now imagine if you're standing in a desert and all you see all around you is sand. And you know you can't stay where you are, but you have no clear indication of which way to go. Now we've all been in those situations. Maybe you're going through a career transition where you're trying to change careers or maybe get one started. Maybe you're trying to start a relationship or change one. Maybe you're struggling with health issues. All we know is that we need to make a change and we don't know which way to go. Discernment's one of the hardest part of learning journeys, especially when we're in those long periods of uncertain transition. But I picked up a few tips on my journey that I can share with you. And the first tip is keep moving. Now the tricky thing about moving in the desert is while you can't stay where you are, any direction you go might actually be making things worse, right? So all you can do is to pick the best direction that you can and keep moving. I knew what I was called to do, right? And it's off in this direction. But the problem with this is it's a long way off, right? I don't know if I'll make it in time. I also had another alternative that was closer, and so in theory, safer, right? But the problem with this alternative is it's moving me away from the direction I feel called to go, and I'm not really excited about this alternative, so moving towards, I may not actually have the energy to sustain the journey to get here. So I chose to go in the direction that I'm called for. But that leads me to my second point. Pay attention. If you aren't sure which way to go, then you need to make constant course corrections along the way to make sure you're going in the best possible direction. And if you're in the desert, sand swirling all around, you need to pay attention to any information you can get. I could see something off in the distance, and it may be an oasis, but it also could be a mirage. So I find myself, when I'm on this journey, paying attention to everything that's around me and what's going on inside of me. And then the third point is adapt to desert life. Now, obviously, when you're in this uncertainty in the desert, it's a lot different than what you're accustomed to. But there are people who thrive their entire lives living in the desert. And you don't know how long you're going to be in the desert. So adapt yourself to that uncertainty so you can thrive while you're in that uncertain period. I started noticing, as I went through this journey in the uncertainty, that there were small opportunities that weren't enough to get me all the way out of the desert, but they were enough to sustain me for little periods along the way. And these are opportunities that I wouldn't have noticed before. Now, I've never been to an actual desert, so I'm not sure if these tips will actually hold up in a real desert journey, but they've helped me out pretty well in my learning journey. Life seems to be about change and uncertainty. So it probably makes sense for us to get used to change and uncertainty so that we can learn how to do these learning journeys better. And I'm going to say if you learn to keep moving, pay attention, and adapt to the uncertainty, you'll find yourself far better prepared for the learning journeys you have to take. Thank you.